something new. So yesterday we have started with collection framework और वहाँ पे हमने देखा था कि अगर आपको सिंगल वैल्यू स्टोर करना है, you want to store a single value, then we can actually use the variable. तो variable क्या होता है? It is just a simple name given to memory location address and using that we can store a single value. अगर आप चाहते हो कि multiple value store करना है तो आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? You have to create that many number of variables. लेकिन उससे प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि it is very time consuming process and difficult to maintain them and access them, right? The variables we have two types, primitive and non primitive. Primitive में आप primitive type value store करते हो जैसे byte, short, int, long, float, double. Non primitive में reference value रखते हो आप जैसे student s equal to new student. So s it is a reference variable. Now if you want to store multiple values, then we can go with the array, where we can create an array and we can store multiple values. Now what is an array? It is just a simple collection of multiple values which are of same type and stored in a sequential memory locations. So but there are certain drawbacks with the array. Drawbacks with the array, number one drawback of array is it is fixed in nature. Means आपने एक बार array create किया था, you cannot increase or decrease. So either there will be shortage or wastage of memory. Once array is created, then we cannot increase or decrease the size of an array. One major drawback of array there is like we can store only homogeneous or same type of data. Now to perform operations such as searching in a given array or deleting element or reversing the array content, replacing, updating. So for every requirement, developer is supposed to write the code. Developer is supposed to write the code. So there is no method support available. For all these methods, developer is supposed to write the code. Now when array is based, when we know the number of elements to be stored in advance, then you can use array. Example, list of pin codes, list of districts, list of countries, ये आप रख सकते हो using array. Now to overcome the drawbacks of array, collection framework is introduced. Now what is framework? Framework is nothing but predefined set of code written for given set of repeatedly occurring problems. मतलब जो भी problems होंगे उनको solve करने के लिए आप एक solution देते हो. And frameworks can be written in different programming language. Java-based frameworks are written in Java programming language. Example, collection framework, Hibernate, Spring, Selenium. In Java-based framework, we have defined set of classes, interfaces, and methods. So collection is also a framework which contains predefined set of classes, interfaces, and methods. All these classes you will find inside the java.util package. Where they are present? They are present inside the util package. Now using collection, what is the use of collection? You can store multiple values as a single container or a single unit. Now collection provides different types of container objects which are used to store multiple values or multiple objects. What are the advantages of frameworks, collection framework? So we can store homogeneous as well as heterogeneous data. We can store any number of elements, right? And collections are growable in nature. Collections are growable in nature. And there won't be any shortage of memory because internally it is going to use a lot of algorithms which will and data structures which will help you increase the size. Now we have method support for all the requirements such as searching, sorting, or manipulating a group of values. Now collection provided set of classes, these are called as data structures. And collection provided some method, these are called as algorithms, right? Now data structure, what it is just a way of organizing or putting the data in a structured way. Data structure is nothing but a structure or a container. जब भी आप सोचते हो कि data structure, आप समझो कि you are talking about a container. So we have different types of containers or structures, stack, list, queue and tree. ठीक? तो एक कोई container, आप ऐसे सोचो कि कलेक्शन और स्ट्रक्चर, डेटा स्ट्रक्चर नथिंग बट अ कंटेनर, और उसके ऊपर जो भी ऑपरेशंस परफॉर्म करते हो उसे बोलते हो एल्गोरिदम्स और मेथड्स. सो आई वांट टू ऐड अ सिंगल वैल्यू इनटू कंटेनर, वी हैव ऐड मेथड. आई वांट टू ऐड मल्टीपल वैल्यूज, आई हैव ऐड ऑल मेथड. आई वांट टू रिमूव अ सिंगल एलिमेंट, आई हैव रिमूव मेथड. आई वांट टू रिमूव मल्टीपल वैल्यूज, देन आई हैव रिमूव ऑल मेथड. आई वांट टू रिमूव ऑल द एलिमेंट्स, आई हैव क्लियर मेथड. I want to know how many elements are there, so I have a size method. Contains method will search the element in the given container or not. So there are lot many methods. There are lot many methods available using which we can perform operations on the given container. तो हमने उसका हायरार्की देखा था कि हाउ मेनी क्लासेस आर देयर, हाउ मेनी इंटरफेसेस आर देयर टू मैनिपुलेट ऑन द ग्रुप ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट्स. तो उस हायरार्की में सबसे टॉप पे है इटरेबल. इट इज अ इंटरफेस which is extended by collection. Now collection is also interface that is extended by list, set and queue. Now list has multiple implementation classes: array list, linked list, vector and stack. So all of these are highlighted part are nothing but concrete classes. Set is implemented by hash set. Hash set is extended by linked hash set. Then set is extended by sorted set. Sorted set is extended by navigable set, and navigable set is implemented by tree set. So tree set is implementation class. Then queue is implemented by priority queue and linked list. ठीक, ये हमने देखा था. और फिर हम नेक्स्ट इसके बाद देखने वाले मैप. सो मैप इज अ इंटरफेस विच इज इम्प्लीमेंटेड बाय हैश मैप. हैश मैप इज अ कॉन्क्रीट क्लास एंड दैट इज एक्सटेंडेड बाय लिंक्ड हैश मैप. मैप is again extended by sorted map. Sorted map is extended by navigable map, and navigable map is implemented by tree map. ठीक, तो कल हमने थोड़ा बेसिक्स देखा था कि पेरेंट चाइल्ड क्लासेस का. देन वी स्टार्टेड विद एक्चुअल थिंग्स. नाउ व्हाट इज कलेक्शन? कलेक्शन इज अ इंटरफेस which is present inside the collection framework and inside the java.util package. So it provides several methods, general purpose method which are applicable for a given container: getting the size, checking whether it is empty, checking whether element is present in this, or convert the collection into an array format, or remove a single element, or add element, remove multiple elements, remove all the elements. These are some methods I have listed down. Then we have seen collection is extended by further three interfaces: list, set and queue. तो आपने देखा होगा कि मैंने आपको बताया था कि ये सारा तीन आपके पास रिक्वायरमेंट्स है, बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट: लिस्ट, सेट, क्यू. तो इफ यू वांट टू स्टोर डुप्लीकेट डेटा and want to maintain insertion order, you go with the list implementation classes. There we have array list, linked list, vector and stack. अगर आप चाहते हो कि आप कंटेनर में बस यूनिक एलिमेंट स्टोर करो तो आप इन सारी क्लासेस का यूज कर सकते हो: हैश सेट, लिंक्ड हैश सेट, ट्री सेट. अगर आप चाहते हो कि कोई ऑर्डर मेंटेन रहे तो आप यूज करते हो क्यू, दैट इज प्रोसेसिंग ऑर्डर मेंटेन करने के लिए आप प्रायोरिटी क्यू, लिंक लिस्ट, ये सारे क्लासेस यूज कर सकते हो. तो ये 4, ये 3 और एक 8, टोटल कितने? 8 कॉन्क्रीट क्लासेस है इस पर्टिकुलर हायरार्की में. इससे ज़्यादा भी है लेकिन दीज आर सम यूजफुल क्लासेस. तो उसमें से हमने लिस्ट देखा था. लिस्ट, सेट एंड क्यू क्या क्या डिफरेंस है? अगर आप चाहते हो कि यू वांट टू स्टोर डुप्लीकेट डेटा, देन यू कैन गो विद द लिस्ट इंप्लीमेंटेशन क्लासेस. हेयर इफ यू वांट टू मेंटेन द इंसर्शन ऑर्डर, मतलब जिस ऑर्डर में एलिमेंट्स ऐड करे वो ऑर्डर आपको मेंटेन करना है, देन वी गो विद द लिस्ट. और इसके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन क्लासेस मतलब सब क्लासेस: एरे लिस्ट, लिंक लिस्ट, वेक्टर एंड स्टैक. फिर सेट क्यू यूज करना चाहिए अगर आप चाहते हो कि आपको यूनिक एलिमेंट स्टोर करना है, देन यू कैन गो विद द सेट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन क्लासेस. सो वी हैव हैश सेट, लिंक्ड हैश सेट एंड ट्री सेट. ठीक. देन क्यू इज आल्सो इंटरफेस. इफ यू वांट टू स्टोर द एलिमेंट्स इन अ पर्टिकुलर ऑर्डर ऑफ द प्रोसेसिंग, देन यू कैन गो विद द क्यू. And there are implementation classes. We have linked hash set and tree set. ठीक है. Then queue is an interface when we want to store the elements that we have done, and then we have started with the list implementation classes. तो हमने कल इसको हाई लेवल स्ट्रक्चर बनाया था. तो लिस्ट में आपके पास 4 क्लासेस हैं: array list, linked list, vector and stack. सब में आप homogeneous डेटा स्टोर कर सकते हो, yes. We can store heterogeneous डेटा, yes. Duplicate, yes. null आप हर बार इंसर्ट कर सकते हो. इंसर्शन ऑर्डर सब जगह मेंटेन होता है. डेटा स्ट्रक्चर बस चेंज क्या है? डेटा स्ट्रक्चर. एरे लिस्ट इंटरनली एक ग्रोएबल एरे डेटा स्ट्रक्चर यूज करता है. लिंक लिस्ट डब्ल्यू लिंक लिस्ट यूज करता है. वेक्टर ग्रोएबल एरे डेटा स्ट्रक्चर यूज करता है. स्टैक भी स्टैक डेटा स्ट्रक्चर यूज करता है. और यहाँ पर मेथड सिंक्रोनाइजेशन के बारे में हमने कल डिस्कस किया था. एरे लिस्ट की मेथड सिंक्रोनाइज नहीं होती, लिंक लिस्ट की भी नहीं होती है, वेक्टर की बस सिंक्रोनाइज मेथड्स होती है, स्टैक की नहीं होती. तो हमने ये ओवरऑल पिक्चर कल हमने देखा था. ठीक. सो इसी के साथ हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. सो कल हमने कौन सा लिस्ट इंप्लीमेंटेशन क्लासेस स्टार्ट किया था, राइट? तो लिस्ट में लिस्ट कब यूज करना चाहिए? व्हेन यू शुड गो विद द लिस्ट. लिस्ट कब यूज करना चाहिए हमने? यस, परफेक्ट. to store duplicate data, then maintain the insertion order. Then we go with the list. So what are the list implementation classes we have? List implementations. So we have linked list, vector and stack. अभी आपको डुप्लीकेट, नाउ मुझे बताओ, कैन यू मेंटेन द डुप्लीकेट इन द एरे लिस्ट? कैन यू मेंटेन द डुप्लीकेट्स इन लिंक लिस्ट? यस. कैन यू मेंटेन द डुप्लीकेट्स इन वेक्टर? यस. कैन यू मेंटेन द डुप्लीकेट्स एंड मेंटेन ऑर्डर? यस. तो फिर डिफरेंस कहाँ है? सारे तो सेम ही है. तो हर एक का डेटा स्ट्रक्चर अलग है. सो एरे लिस्ट इंटरनली मेंटेन्स विच डेटा स्ट्रक्चर? So they will ask you how array list works. So internally array list maintains the growable array data structure. Now linked list क्या maintain करता है? Internally linked list maintains the doubly linked list data structure. अभी doubly linked list क्या होता है? We'll talk about. यहाँ पर भी वेक्टर ग्रोएबल एरे मेंटेन करता है, लेकिन यहाँ पर मेथड्स आर सिंक्रोनाइज. Methods are synchronized. Stack, it internally also maintains a array plus stack data structure. मतलब array ही यूज करता है, पर लेकिन उसको array को stack बना दिया उन्होंने. ठीक, डिफरेंस समझ में आ रहा है? डिफरेंस बता पाओगे? अभी array list इंटरनली कैसे काम करता है? मतलब array list तो एक क्लास है, इट इज़ हेल्पिंग यू टू ऐड द ऑब्जेक्ट्स. तो इंटरनली कैसे काम करता है ये? बिकॉज हमने एक क्लास डिफाइन करी थी 2 दिन पहले कि अगर आपका एरे इंटरनली एरे मेंटेन करता है, इंटरनली एरे ही मेंटेन करता है. जब वो एरे फुल होता है एलिमेंट्स ऐड होने के बाद, इट विल क्रिएट अ न्यू एरे, और जो भी ओल्ड एरे का कंटेंट था वो कॉपी करेंगे न्यू एरे में, एंड देन न्यू एलिमेंट विल बी एडेड एट द एंड ऑफ द न्यू एरे. ऐसा काम करता है. सो हाउ इट वर्क्स? इंटरनली to store the elements, it maintains the array. Once that array, this question you can think of how array list works. Internally, to store the elements, it maintains the array. Once that array is full, it will create new array with the new capacity. What is the new capacity? It will create, once that array is full, it will create new array with new capacity. Then copy the content of old array into new array. Then copy the content of old array into new array and append the element. Append मतलब at the end add करना. तो न्यू कैपेसिटी कैसे? डिफॉल्ट कैपेसिटी कितना होता है? डिफॉल्ट कैपेसिटी कितना होता है? 10 या 16 कितना होता है? default capacity is 10 and new capacity will be into 1.5 plus 1. लेट्स से इनिशियली 10 है तो नया कैपेसिटी कितना होगा 16. 10 इंटू 1.5 15. 15 प्लस 1 16. बस उन्होंने स्टैंडर्ड किया उनमें, दैट इज द स्टैंडर्ड दे हैव डिसाइडेड कि अभी एरे फुल होता है तो हम कौन सा नया कैपेसिटी क्या रखेंगे, इसलिए उन्होंने क्या बोला है कि 1.5 प्लस 1. राइट. चलो ठीक. तो कल हमने ट्राई किया था कि एलिमेंट्स कैसे ऐड करेंगे. सो वी यूज्ड parent class reference equal to child class object. So list equal to new array list और यहाँ पर हमने elements ऐड किए थे. So we were able to add heterogeneous, homogeneous and we were not worrying about the size. जितना element चाहिए उतना you were able to get the elements. ठीक. Now what I want to know how many elements are there. I have just printed the elements. What we did. Now what is the first thing we did? Add operation. Now what is this? This is just a container creation. This line, what is this line? This line, whatever you see, this is nothing but a container object creation. And then add operation. So adding the element, adding one element in the container. So उसके लिए हमने कौन सा मेथड यूज किया? add method. This is the first thing. पहले आपने कंटेनर क्रिएट किया, फिर उस कंटेनर में ऐड एलिमेंट, देन यू प्रिंटेड रीडिंग ऑल द एलिमेंट्स फ्रॉम द कंटेनर एट वंस. तो अभी आप यहाँ पर देखोगे इसका लिस्ट डॉट टू स्ट्रिंग मेथड कॉल होगा. क्या होगा? टू स्ट्रिंग मेथड. सो टू स्ट्रिंग मेथड इज ओवररिडन हियर एंड दे sorry. Okay, so toString method is present inside the list, so that is overwritten. So जब भी आप list print करते हो तो आपको क्या मिलेगा आउटपुट? कंप्लीट सारे एलिमेंट्स. राइट. अभी मुझे पता करना है कि हाउ मेनी एलिमेंट्स आर देयर, गेटिंग द साइज ऑफ कंटेनर, दैट इज नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स प्रेजेंट. मुझे इस पर्टिकुलर कंटेनर में कितने सारे एलिमेंट्स हैं कैसे पता करोगे? साइज ऑफ array list container. You just simply call list dot size. Simple. Now I want to know whether this is empty or not. To check if the container is empty or not. If it is empty, it will return true. If it is not, is container empty? Is array list container empty? Is array list container empty? तो आप कैसे करोगे? list dot is empty. ये रिटर्न क्या करेगा? True या false. Simple. Let me run this. So it will print all the elements. It will give me the size. This will tell me whether it is empty or not. True, false. So we are able to add elements. We are able to pull down all the elements, and we are able to get the size also. It is saying false. False means it is not empty. Right. Now next, what I want to do, now I want to get the element. I want to get the element, read, not delete or remove, read the single element from the container. Now I want to read a single element. Now for that purpose, now we know that internally ArrayList maintains a array. So elements of array are stored in a sequential manner, and first element is stored at index 0. So ArrayList container element stored at index. Now if I write 0, 0 means who is there at the 0 means I will get 10. You can specify the index also. So we are able to read the element also 1, right? So we are able to get all the elements, but sometime you want to get a single element. So stored at index is ArrayList container element stored at index 0 is, तो आपने ये print कर दिया. Now what I want to search element, search a single element in the container. मुझे search करना है कि ये कोई value present है या नहीं. Element is present in ArrayList. कैसे पता चलेगा आपको? बस list dot contains, तो आप यहाँ पर ऑब्जेक्ट की वैल्यू दे दो उसे. आपको सर्च करना है कि ये प्रेजेंट है इन स्ट्रिंग डेटा. हाँ, वी नो दैट दिस इज प्रेजेंट, बट आई विल जस्ट चेक ये प्रेजेंट है या नहीं, राइट? तो आपको आउटपुट मिलेगा ट्रू. यू विल गेट आउटपुट एज ट्रू. True means this particular element is present. Easy. Now I want to remove the element. I want to remove single element. Remove a single element from the container. So how do I do that? So list dot remove, and remove we have multiple options. Remove index, remove all. I will use this one. So I will say remove this, and after that I will print the list again after removal. So you will see that whether data is removed or not. It is deleted, yes. Right. So what all operations we have performed so far on given array list? All the possible operations. Now given container. What is the add single element, then search a single element, get a single element, then remove a single element, then get the size of container. Container यानी collection, container यानी collection. What else? Check if container, check if collection is empty or not, right? So we are able to add, search, get, remove, get the size, check if the collection is empty or not. So what is extra thing we can think of now? We are able to perform all this. We are able to store. Now I want to perform certain other operations also. I will create a list. This is a list creation. I have added the elements, and I want to, now I want this list to contain only strings. I want to say this list should have only integers, let's say. So I can write integers. Now if you try to add any other element, you will get compile time error. So this is also one option we can do. So we are able to restrict the collection to store specific type of element, that is using generics. जो हमने अभी किया है उसे बोलते हैं generics. तो इस पर्टिकुलर कंटेनर में आपको क्या मिलेगा अभी? बस इंटीजर वैल्यूज. अगर आप चाहते हो स्ट्रिंग से तो बस यहाँ पर स्ट्रिंग लिखो. दैट्स इट. नल हाँ डाल सकते हो. नल इज फाइन. ओनली नल. दिस इज इंटीजर. Null is fine. Now I want to remove the elements. Based on condition. Remove multiple elements based on condition. This is one of the thing I want to do. So how do I do that?
Remove all.
List dot remove.
Those two will be there.
This is Java 8 feature. And this particular thing accepts a object that is of type predicate. This, right? So this accepts a predicate. Now predicate, we know what is predicate. So predicate will accept the input, and based on the input, now it will be a number. That number I want only, let's say I want remove odd numbers. Mod 2 is not equal to 0. That's it. Right? So I will pass only predicate. I will print the list. So this is Java 8 way. Now if you want to pass this value directly to this particular remove if, you can also do that. Can do that also. But for your understanding, null pointer, I will remove this. So I will keep this as it is.
Yes.
Later on you can reference at least. Otherwise you will not understand. Yes, now these two elements are deleted. Yes. So we are able to delete based on or remove the elements based on the condition. Yes. So sometime you want to remove all elements. So we use list dot clear. That's it. And you print the list, you'll see that it will be empty. So we can remove all elements with clear method. So what is the method? Clear. So add a single element. What is the method? Add method. Search element, we have contains method. Get a single method, we have get method. Remove a single element, we have remove method. Then get the size, we have size method. Now check if this collection is empty or not. So what is the method? Is empty. What is the method here? No, restrict the collection, that's fine. Remove multiple elements based on the condition. Remove if. Remember, this is Java 8 feature. And clear now. Now I want to remove not all. I want to remove all elements. I want to remove all elements. Remove all elements. Clear that we have done. Remove multiple elements. Remove multiple, not all. There is a difference between all and multiple. All means everything. I do not want to remove all. I just want to remove some specific elements. Which elements? I will specify that. So I have these elements. I have added the elements. Now I want to remove multiple elements. I cannot use clear method. So I will use remove all. Now remove all means you will have a list of elements. Now let's say I have these elements. Now I have 60, 70 and 80. Now this is my entire list. From this list I will create a list of integers, remove list. I will just elements to be removed. List of elements to be removed. एक लिस्ट बना रहा हूँ जिसके अंदर क्या होगा? लिस्ट ऑफ now this list में I will add the elements. कौन सा elements you want to delete? List of dot add. Let's say I want to remove 31 and 41. So these two elements I want to delete, or let's say maybe I will add one more, 10. So these three elements I want to remove from this original list. So I should have only 4 elements left. So what you do? List of elements to be removed. That's it. So first you have original list, then you create another list. So these elements I want to remove from this original list. So for that we said remove. See here 50, 60, 70, 80. So we are successfully able to remove multiple elements. Yes. Remove multiple elements, we have remove all. Now let's say you have a list and you do not want to add single element. You do not want to add single elements. You want to add multiple elements. So what do you do that?
Elements to be added to elements to be added. List of elements to be added.
That's it. और यहाँ पे कुछ वैल्यू दे दो 100, 310, 341 or 241. So add multiple elements. Add all and list of elements to be added. That's it. Now there you are adding multiple elements. See here, after that we have added 3 more elements. Easy. So what operations we can perform? What else we have on a given container? What is left? So we are able to search. I'm able to add the elements also. Two lists को compare करना, right? I have two lists and I want to compare. So before that, before we go into the multiple list, I will try to sort this, right? Sort the list elements. So how do you do that? So we have collections and there is a sort method. So we have to say collections dot sort और उसे पास करना है बस list. Then you print the list. So I have 1, 10 like this. So when I run this, I'll get the elements sorted. नहीं वैसे वो नेचुरल सॉर्टिंग लेगा वो. Easy. We are able to sort also. Okay. Now what happens usually? I want to keep some elements and I want to delete some other elements. So I have this list and what I want to keep, let's say, these two elements and delete everything else, right? Now sometime let's say you go for a hiring test, right? Now you have a bunch of candidates and you want to keep only 2 candidates and rest everything you want to go home, right? So I want in a list, I want to delete everyone except 2 shortlisted candidates. So what I will do, I will say, or you have only one element. So we have, let's say, list dot retain. So we have retain all. Condition we can. So what happens now? I want to remove everything except the short list. So I have shortlisted. So shortlisted list I will create and shortlisted. Then I will add. I want to keep 31. Then I want to select 41 also, and I want to keep 1 also. The rest everything I want to discard. So how do I do that? Original list dot retain all, and then you write shortlisted. So you will have only shortlisted and everything else will be deleted. So we have only 3 things. Now I will keep. Now what will happen? Whether 11 is there? Then if it is मतलब जो present है उसको ही रखो, extra आप लेके नहीं आ सकते. You cannot keep this. Yes. So we have only this list of shortlisted elements. Now 31 is present, okay, keep that. 41 is present, keep that. 1 is there, keep that, and the rest everything delete. Right? This is retain all. Now we are able to retain specified elements and remove rest of the elements from given container. So what is that? Simple. अभी जो मेथड्स हमने यूज करी ना, सारी मेथड्स आप एरे लिस्ट पे भी यूज़ कर सकते हो, लिंक लिस्ट पे भी यूज़ कर सकते हो, वेक्टर पे भी कर सकते हो, स्टैक पे भी, right? So you just need to change the class name. Rest everything remain same. There also you will be able to sort, search, everything. But the only difference is behind the scene. Behind the scene, what you are using. Okay. Now let's talk about the array list. Now all these operations we have able to perform on this particular thing. Now we are able to store duplicate, maintain insertion order, internally it maintains the global array data structure. What it means is global array data structure, if you open this array list class, you will find that it internally maintains what it maintains? It maintains a array of elements, array of element data. It is creating array. If you see here, it is maintaining a array. That was what we created at day one. Then it has multiple elements. It has capacity and size. Capacity means how many elements we can store, and size means actually how many elements are there, actual presence. So it internally maintains a array to store these elements. So if you go to add method, what it does, I will just go to the array list method. So what they are doing, this is what we have done. Element data size plus plus equal to e. So what is this element data? This element data is nothing but a non-private to simplify nested access. So this is just a simply array which is holding the value. Now what happens? Now ensure internal capacity. Before you actually add the element, they are making sure you have a capacity. So in this particular method, they internally calculate the capacity. They will calculate the capacity. So default capacity, what is default capacity? It is, they will create 10 and math.max. So they will check if the capacity is there, then they will be able to do that. Then they will say grow. Grow means create the new array. So they will create old capacity, element data dot length. Old capacity will be old capacity into 1. So they are using old capacity into 1.5 plus 1. So they are creating a new array. So huge capacity arrays dot copy. What this arrays dot copy does? Copy the content of old array into new array and you get a new wave. So internally this is what happens. Take. So are we able to perform all the operations on this? Yes. Now vector also exactly same. Vector is also exactly same. The only difference is vector methods are synchronized. Vector methods are synchronized. Array list and it is also using, it internally also maintains the vector is also exactly same. So how vector works? Internally to store the elements, it maintains the array. Once the array is full, it will create new array with the new capacity. The copy, then copy the content of folder into new array and append the element. Default capacity is 10 and new capacity will be right. Now since internally it is using array, both array list and vector are using internally array. What they are using? They are using array. So what is the drawback of array? Now let's say, I will tell you the example. Now internally what happens? Once the array is full, it will create a new array with double capacity. Now your array is full. Now your array contains, let's say, 1 billion records. Array is full and you want to add only one element. So it will create a new array with the 2 billion records, but you want to store only one element. So what will happen? Wastage of memory. So there is a huge chance there will be a wastage of memory space. Time and copying the content. Array creation, memory जा रहा है आपका, then copy content, That is also time. It will take, first of all, array creation, memory. Then again, you are copying the content of old array into new array. That is another headache too, and time it is going to take. So it is worst choice, not big data. So when you should go with the array list, when you know that data is, this is going to be the fixed data. So it is best. Now also I want to shift the elements. Now let's say I want to add the element at the beginning. I want to add an element at the beginning of the array. So what has to happen? There has to be shifting of elements. Shifting of elements. Since we cannot, memory is, that is something fixed. So we will have to do the shifting of elements. अगर आपको नया एलिमेंट ऐड करना है तो यू हैव टू डू द शिफ्टिंग ऑफ एलिमेंट्स आइदर टू द लेफ्ट और आइदर टू द राइट. सो इट इज नॉट द बेस्ट चॉइस if you want to do the modification such as addition of element or deletion of element. delete करना मतलब लेट से मेरे पास अभी elements है, मेरा अभी array है, this is array and I want to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now I want to delete this particular element. So what has to happen? This 30 place should be captured by 40 like this. So shifting of elements. Now let's say I have 10 elements, 10 is the element, and I have like this 1 billion records. I have 1 billion records. Now I want to delete this 10. So all these billion records has to shift to the right, left. You have to shift all the elements to the left. So there will be a lot of shifting of elements if you want to delete or you want to insert a new element. So there will be a lot of shifting of elements. So array list is worst choice if the frequent operation is modification of data, and array list is best choice if the frequent operation is retrieval of data. मतलब array से data read करना it is very fast. Why? Because since elements are stored sequential manner. So it is easy, simple. Now same is the case for the vector also. सिंपल. अभी मैं आपको क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ कि और अगर आपको एरे लिस्ट यूज़ करना है या वेक्टर यूज़ करना है या लिंक लिस्ट, आपको बताने आ सकता है. यू विल बी एबल टू एक्सप्लेन दैट व्हेन टू यूज़ एरे लिस्ट. एरे लिस्ट कब यूज़ करना चाहिए? क्लास. अगर आपको डुप्लीकेट डेटा स्टोर करना है, इंसर्शन ऑर्डर चाहिए, यू वांट टू मेंटेन होमोजेनियस एज वेल एज हेट्रोजीनियस, देन कब यूज़ करना है? if your frequent operation is retrieval of data, मतलब आप ज़्यादा मैनिपुलेशन नहीं करने वाले हो, बस एक बार डेटा क्रिएट कर लिया, दैट्स इट. उसके बाद उस डेटा के ऊपर आप कुछ मॉडिफिकेशन ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं करने वाले हो, देन यू आर द बेस्ट, लाइक एरे लिस्ट इज द बेस्ट चॉइस. और दूसरा, एरे लिस्ट की मेथड्स सिंक्रनाइज नहीं है, मतलब इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी फास्टर. सिंक्रनाइज मतलब वहाँ पर वेट टाइम कुछ नहीं होगा. सो मल्टीपल थ्रेड्स कैन एक्सेस द मेथड्स ऑफ एरे लिस्ट एट द सेम टाइम. Vector exactly same, vector is also exactly same, but if you are having multiple threads, then vector you can go with. That's the difference. Array list and vector are exactly same, only difference is methods are synchronized and array list methods are not synchronized. That's it. So these two classes are exactly same. Now how about linked list? हाउ अबाउट लिंक लिस्ट, हाउ इट इज वर्किंग? लिंक लिस्ट भी सेम नहीं. सो लिंक लिस्ट इंटरनली क्या करता है, इट मेंटेन्स अ डब्ली लिंक लिस्ट या लिंक लिस्ट समझो आप फॉर सिंपल अंडरस्टैंडिंग. अभी लिंक लिस्ट मतलब क्या होता है, अभी यहाँ पर दो चीज़ होता है, एक तो डेटा होता है, लेट्स से 10, लेट्स आपका डेटा है कुछ, लेट्स से 10. नाउ दिस इज द डेटा. It will have a reference of another object. So all of these are objects. It will have a reference to another object. एंड लास्ट में यहाँ पर नल होगा. लेट से मेरे पास 3 ही एलिमेंट है, तो ऐसा होगा. तो 10 को रेफरेंस, 10 के पास रेफरेंस किसका होगा, 20 का. 20 का रेफरेंस होगा 30 का. सो 30 अभी इज द लास्ट एलिमेंट, तो उसके पास कोई रेफरेंस नहीं है, तो इट इज नल. लेट से मुझे क्या करना है, ये एलिमेंट को डिलीट करना है. तो डिलीट करना है मतलब क्या करना, इस रेफरेंस को पॉइंट करो आप 30 को. यू पॉइंट दिस रेफरेंस टू द 30, दैट्स इट. And this element is automatically eligible for garbage collection. This will be automatically deleted. अभी मुझे क्या करना है, इन दोनों के बीच में कोई एलिमेंट ऐड करना है. आई वांट टू ऐड अ न्यू एलिमेंट. लेट्स से आई वांट टू ऐड 40. तो 40 क्या करो आप, 40 ऐड करना, तो आप कहाँ, इन दोनों के बीच, लेट्स से 20 एंड 30 के बीच. तो आप 40 को यहाँ पर पॉइंट करो और 20 का रेफरेंस. That's it. Done. No more shifting of elements. No more shifting of elements. So you are able to add the elements easily. So linked list. Now it will not allocate the memory in advance. Every element you want. Let's say I want to add a single element, it will allocate the memory. Not like array. Let's say you want to add a single element, you are creating a new array capacity for almost 1 billion records. If you are having 1 billion records. Right? So instead of that, what you do actually, every time you want to add an element, it will allocate the memory, just like a node or an object. It is creating an object. So the data will be stored in an object. So every time you want to store the data, it will just create the object. So there is no in advance memory allocation. There is no advanced memory allocation. That is better, yes. And let's say I want to delete an element. You have to only change the reference. ओनली वन चेंज रेफरेंस. एक लिंक चेंज कर दिया, आपका पूरा आउटपुट, मतलब आपका आउटपुट एक्सपेक्टेड है. सो लिंक लिस्ट फॉर एवरी एलिमेंट टू बी स्टोर्ड, इट विल क्रिएट अ नोड and then at that time, so it will not be, there will not be wastage of memory space, because you are not creating memory in advance, you are not allocating the memory in advance, you are just allocating the memory for the data which is at present, not for the other part. एरे में कैसे होता है, आप एरे क्रिएट करते हो और एक एलिमेंट स्टोर करते हो, बाकी खाली रहता है पूरा. तो यहाँ पर ऐसा नहीं रहेगा. सो लिंक लिस्ट is best choice for modification of data, but it is worst choice. रिट्रीवल के लिए आपको स्टार्टिंग से रिट्राइव करना पड़ेगा, पूरा ढूंढना पड़ेगा किसका रेफरेंस किसके पास है. सो लिंक लिस्ट इज वर्स्ट चॉइस फॉर retrieval of data. For every element to be stored, it will create a node at that time. Right? So there won't be any memory wastage, of memory. वहाँ पर कोई मेमोरी वेस्टेज नहीं होगा, क्योंकि आप एडवांस में मेमोरी को एलोकेट ही नहीं कर रहे हो, बस एक ही एलिमेंट के लिए आप कर रहे हो. अनलाइक एरे में क्या करते हो, आप पूरा एरे बनाते हो एरे लिस्ट में, एक ही एलिमेंट स्टोर करना है, लेकिन आपने इतना बड़ा एरे क्रिएट करके रखा, तो दैट इज वेस्टेज। ठीक। सो ऑल द ऑपरेशंस दैट वी परफॉर्म, वी कैन परफॉर्म ऑन द लिस्ट, array list, linked list, vector and stack also, on the stack also, right? now अभी हम थोड़ी लिस्ट के बाद, हम लिंक लिस्ट के बाद हम देखते हैं स्टैक। ठीक। अब यहाँ पर हम देखते हैं स्टैक। अभी स्टैक क्या करता है, इफ यू सी केयरफुली, क्या कर दिया मैंने, सॉरी, right? All the operations that we are able to perform on the link, that array list, we are able to perform on the linked list also, as well as vector। मतलब सारों में सारे operations आप perform कर सकते हो। Let's say I want to remove the elements, or I want to have the list of elements, all the things you can perform। Let's say I have a list of integers, and there I will specify, or you can specify linked list also, linked list also। So I have linked list, so you can add the elements, integers, linked list, I have linked list dot add elements। You can add duplicates also, if you see here carefully, so we are able to add the elements, right? So I want to, let's say, read all the elements one by one, we can use the for loop also। So I will start from 0, and it will be linked list dot size method, and you just get the element, linked list dot get, and then we specify the I। Now there is one more enhanced way. Instead of you writing this, we have a better way to read the elements. So this is traditional for loop. So this is a enhanced way also we have, that is enhanced for loop। So how do I do that? अपने array में use किया था for each, और यहाँ पर आप क्या कर रहे हो, integer value int I, और यहाँ पर linked list दे रहे हो, that's it। ये temp दे दो इसे, you just give a temp, you print the temp, that's it। We are able to read the elements also। This one जैसे array में create किया था हमने, pool of elements, one by one element will be copied to this, and we are printing this। array में हमने use किया था। इसी, चलो हम stack के related देखते हैं कुछ methods। Now see here carefully. Now if you carefully see the class stack, stack is extending vector class. Stack extends vector class, and it has these many extra methods apart from vector. Means all the properties of vector are there, but there are some extra methods are also there. Push, pop, pick, empty, search. Right? So what are the methods of this? We will try to understand these also. So stack मतलब क्या होता है? We'll have stack like this. Now let's say I want to add an element into this. So I will add, let's say 10. So this entry, adding the element, is called as push. Then I want to add one more element. I will be adding at top of this 30. So this is my tag. Now I want to remove the element. So this will be following pop. So this follows last in, first out. Last in, first out principle. Now I want to check who is there on the top of. Who is there on the top. So on top of that, what we have, I want to know who is there. I do not want to remove the element. So this push will add the element and pop will remove the element from the top. Now I do not want to remove the element. I just want to check, inspect. I just want to inspect. So we say peek. Peek will not remove the element. It will just check who is there on the top. Who is there on the top. And I want to search the element into this. We have search method. Search method will search the element into this, whether the element is present. Then is empty, whether this stack is empty or not, it will return. Then we have empty. This is the same method, empty, whether it is empty or not. Simple. I will just add the methods. It maintains last in, first out. So there are a couple of methods: push, pop, peek, search, and we have empty. It adds the element on top of the stack. So what pop does? It removes the element from top of the stack. Peek, it returns the value from top. It does not remove the element. That's it. Search, it searches the element in the given stack. It checks if the stack is empty. That's it. I will just write some couple of methods. So I will have a stack of integer stack equal to new stack. And I will add a stack dot push. Pop करेंगे तो you will not have anything. 40. Now how many elements are there? 4 elements. And I will do the pop operation now. Stack dot pop. 4 elements. I try to. I added 10, 20, 30, 40. What is the output? What is the first that will be popped? 40. 40, 30, 20, 10. So first 10 was added, 20, 30, 40. So on top of stack there was 40. So you will get 40 like this. Now I want to know who is there on the, now there are, let's say, 5 elements. Now on top of stack we know who is there, 50. So who is there on top of stack.
Stack dot
So stack dot
P
pick.
10.
So you'll get
10.
not 10, 50. So you added first
So
element.
remove everything.
Hmm?
Pop out everything.
You added first element 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So what is the first thing you are removing? Pop 50, 40, 30, 20. Last we have 10. This will be 10.
It is basically removed, no? It is not.
Huh?
It will be removed from the pop.
Peak will not remove.
No, pop.
Pop will remove. Pop will remove. So you can check the size also. After this, stack dot size. Let me run this. After removing 4 elements, there will be only 1 element. That's it. Size of stack is 1. And who is there on the top of stack? Yeah. Simple. Easy?
Yes.
Okay. So we are clear with the list implementations, right? Now there are many things we can discuss about this. It will take a week's time to just discuss only list implementations. 1 week to discuss set implementation, but we don't have that much time. So we will just try to understand what is enough for you to start working. Now once you start using, you will explore the things. So behind the scene, you can just go through how array list is implemented, how list is implemented, linked list is implemented, stack, vector. So that is something you can explore. Now collection, if you want, we can continue for 1 month also, but it will take a lot of efforts. So you can just explore the things for the array list, linked list. So this is whatever I have explained. This is enough to start working. Whatever I have told you, this is enough to start working, right? So we will continue tomorrow mostly on the set implementations, right? Now you already know the set implementations. We have has set, demos, and then I will create a demo 1. So how many implementation classes are there for the set? We have set, let's say I want to set of integers only. Set equal to new, we have has set, linked has set, and tree set also. So I told you set dot add (20, 30), and if I print set, it will not give me error, but only unique values will be added 10, 20, 30, and you cannot predict the output here because order is not maintained here. We'll talk about that mostly tomorrow. 20, 10, 30. Take. Okay. Yes.